Hi folks, Fuzzfinger here and welcome back to Final Fantasy 15. Today we're going to continue on the old-fashioned route through Chapter 13 here, having already uploaded the video for the new patched version if you want to follow that way, and I do actually recommend that way. But for the sake of completion, we are going to also do the original route as well. So do stick around and join me, and if you enjoy this episode, don't forget to hit that like button and be subscribed to the FuzzfingerGaming YouTube channel. So interestingly, what we're actually playing through at the moment is the original Chapter 13 for Final Fantasy 15 that was heavily criticised for various reasons, mostly due to its huge length and basic just linearity of doing the same thing over and over, traversing through corridors with Noctis. And it does clearly show how the latter portions of the game were rushed through development, because there's really not much difference as we go through, and you'll see this yourself. So that's why I do recommend playing through the newly revamped version of Chapter 13, which basically just cuts most of this stuff out completely. It's a lot shorter, and it's from the perspective of your other characters. But as I've said, that is uploaded and available for your viewing pleasure. But you do also, I believe, miss out on items by going that way. So for the sake of completion, I'm also going to demonstrate to you the original path. And we get information on another ability here from our ring. Our Turner consigns entire hordes of enemies to the void, albeit at the cost of lots of MP. So just something to bear in mind there. But look at that, pretty nice. Although for some reason, didn't actually use any of our MP. Anyway, I'm not complaining. We'll continue to clear off those enemies there. I'm just going to check something out here. Actually, no, I'm not. Let's just carry on. So we're going to collect some more loot from this area. It's just a few bits we can pick up. So of course we are going to do so. And I believe there's an item we can collect just up these stairs here and in this elevated region. There we go. It's actually been some time from my perspective since I've last played Final Fantasy 15. I think the save game file was just about 2 months behind where I am now. So you might have to excuse me while I just sort out basically my control scheme again, since I've been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts lately, and it's actually a very similar type of game, but the controls are all different in that. So just to confuse me, I'm going to probably keep switching back to thinking I'm playing Kingdom Hearts when of course I am not. So we'll nab this next item here, and then move on into the final room of this area, where there should be another couple of items for us to pick up before moving on.
Where did everybody go?
So there's a high elixir, and on the other side of the room should be something else. A rare coin, so obviously just make sure that we pick that up. And then we can make our way to the actual checkpoint here. And we need to use our Ring of the Lucille once again. I know that the Ring of the Lucille has actually been adjusted in the same patch, which brought us the alternative route for getting through Chapter 13. So I'm not exactly sure how off the top of my head, but maybe if you're interested you might want to look as to the reasons for that. So in this next section here we're going to encounter new enemy types, namely Axemen, who are pretty darn, well, they're very nasty to face in all honesty. So One thing I've been told is that we'll need to run away from them. But maybe we can try and take them on in battle and see what happens.
How does it feel to be powerless? Can't help your friends if you can't help yourself.
Gotta hurry and find them, wherever they are.
So we'll continue to loot, of course, as we go here. So I'm just trying to be a little bit cautious of the enemies that I know are inevitably going to be spawning in this section. And in the south section here, there's an item for us to grab. A laser sensor. Interesting. But we just need to follow our way around the linear path system. I'm not going to worry about whatever that is. Pick up the chrome bit before heading across to the east here. And our rogue axemen are about to be patrolling. Let's see what happens if we try and kill one, shall we?
These don't look like typical MTs.
Must be tiring having to run all the time.
So we can just use our death spell on them, actually.
That magic is a royal disappointment.
Okay, right then, so let's head over to the east again now. And in here there's a couple more items we can pick up. An optional area actually, but still good to get some loot, I guess. And then back the way we came. And we're going to start heading north as soon as that becomes possible to us. So I do get the feeling the Ring of the Lucille is operating a lot differently than it originally did.
Something different about them. Something off.
So we can go and save in there, but before we do so, I'm just going to head over here into this other optional room to grab some loot.
There's some streaker running around here.
A security card, which is actually needed, so make sure you do go and pick that up. As we'll death the next Axeman here. And go in and save our game. You can also switch to your other party members if you wanted to begin their route. Although you would have to start their route from the beginning, even though we've already done some and covered some ground on Noctis here. But, you know, I'll leave that up to you. Okay, so now we're just going to basically exit and head to the west here. We can just basically ignore the prompts on the sides that are asking us to open up other rooms and whatnot.
It's all coming along swimmingly, isn't it?
And then just head to the waypoint marker. There's no loot around this section. And we'll start heading south instead. So there have been some changes. I looked after I saved my game there to the Ring of the Lucille. Namely that death now actually does damage rather than as an instant effect. But other changes as well. Some of the other abilities such as Holy actually does less damage but restores more MP. And the other attack, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, actually does more damage as well. So in the side room here we can pick up a Mega Elixir, very nice, very nice. And then make our way around. We are going to be backtracking through this area as well. Just be prepared for these Axemen here that like to lie in wait. Not all of them will spout up, but some of them will, so just bear that in mind. We're looking at going south here. And there is an item in this room, so we'll go and pick that up. A shattered timepiece. This is where things get a little bit confusing with the path. So we're going to continue to the west, I believe. Just kill these enemies first. I was trying to see if we had our AoE ability, but I don't know if we do, you know. So we'll just stick to our death attack. Tried and tested death attack. Lovely. Yeah, so I think that there's a bit of a generator or something that we need to just go ahead and sort out down here. So we'll go and have a look at that first of all.
Huh. And what have we here? Clearance level. Nice.
Okay, card security clearance raised to level 2.
Raised to level 2. Access to level 2 zones authorized.
So now we are going to be heading north up this passageway that we went past just a moment ago, where we killed the enemies. And at the top there's going to be another room for us to go ahead and save in. So we'll do that before approaching the waypoint there. And again, another opportunity to switch routes, though at this point you really should have made your mind up if you're continuing on with Noctis here. And we're going to continue back out of this room here, but head towards the waypoint this time so that we can unlock a new section of the map. Yeah, it's very drab, this area, isn't it?
Poor Prompto must be feeling the heat right about now.
I'm just trying to test out some of the other abilities. I can't seem to get them to work at the moment. Okay, so Holy seems to work just fine. And I guess the other ability does need full MP, which is why I couldn't cast it. So assumingly everything is going as we would expect.
Invalid key. Data
Invalid key at the moment.
Security clearance level 2.
So we'll have to go and sort that out.
Damn it! It won't budge!
Okay, we make our way around the long way then. And then we can kind of squeeze through this gap. At least that's the working theory. So we do need to upgrade our key card once more.
Not. Help me.
And we need to work our way around the boxes here, though we need to be a little bit careful because I believe there's a tough enemy that's about to spawn for us. So we're going to have to use the death spell to take care of it. Although the death spell is pretty useful, I've got to say. And look at that holy attack then. If you can time holy correct, I think it's called perfect dodge, then you'll get 15 times normal damage, which is why we just saw that enemy's health rocket down literally. as much as it did. So anyway, do we have to jump over these? Looks like we do. Oh no, we make our way through the space here. See, that's my Kingdom Hearts confusion coming into the situation there. There's definitely a much stronger platform experience to Kingdom Hearts than there is to Final Fantasy 15.
Another trick. Back to square one.
Okay, so we'll use the key pad upgrading machine. That's not its official name, but it's what I'm calling it.
Security clearance raised to level.
And we can now access
Access
this
to level
here.
3. Zones authorized.
Oh, you should have seen the look on your face.
2 of these rooms have items in, which we can go ahead and grab.
Sorry, next time it might really be your friend. That's one of my personal favorites. Are you certain it wasn't the real thing? Wouldn't want to make a mistake.
There's an item over here as well. May as well pick that up. And then we're going to make our way back around to the larger opened area that took us into this region. And don't forget, there's a save point just in this next area here, so make sure you do go and make use of that. I certainly will be. Okay, and so now we can access that area I was just talking to you about. We're going to have some a little bit more exciting things to do in the moment, including dodging some iron giants. So yeah, this is a bit of a long-winded chapter, as you can tell. But there are some slightly more exciting parts to it that we haven't yet witnessed.
Oh, it's just so unfair.
Ardyn being his quite usual mean self there, isn't he? Just winding Noctis up. And let's be honest, Noctis is a little bit emo even on the best of days. Fair enough, he's gone through a lot. And Ardyn certainly likes to play on that, doesn't he? I don't know if it's random which one of these comes to life and which ones don't. But just be prepared anyhow. And then back into this main region, we're going to head over to the western area. And then once we come out the other side here, we're going to enter another new area. Ooh, don't want to fall down there. It's a bit like the Death Star, isn't it? And look at that, we're going even higher. So again, pretty much more of the same stuff here. Just bear with me, I've got a text message. Okay, where was I? Okay, so yeah, just continuing over to the east.
Now. Soon it will be within your grasp. I suggest you take the central elevator. It will take you to your goal.
So another couple of optional items to pick up in this area. And then in the southeastern gantry there's also another item we can go and grab. And then we want to head to the northeast. For a moment anyway. There's something we can push by the looks of it, so we'll go and do that.
Don't look down. Gotta find a way to make it move.
That will update the quest for us. At which point we're going to head back to the east here. Well, I say back, we haven't actually been this way as of yet. And this is the room I was talking about. Here you need to walk, not run, in order to avoid this guy's line of sight. I'm going to head over to the left.
If a king cannot protect himself, how is he to protect others?
And really try and stick to that walking rather than running if at all possible. It is quite sensitive, the analog pad. Grab the reflex enhancer, no doubt. And just kind of try and veer around the corner. Obviously don't want to go too far yet. Works a little bit differently, does this fella. He doesn't kind of just attack you when you get close to him. If that makes sense. And down here. And then around here. And then we should see these stairs, so we want to head towards those. And then I've got another Axeman to kill. There's another item we can grab around here though, so I am going to go ahead and do that before we head to the waypoint just there. It might be on this lower section, it might actually be on the upper section, which I'm guessing at this point it is. There it is. It's a flesh fortifier, make sure you pick that up. And then over to the waypoint. We'll only get taken up a short ways here. But as well as the waypoint marker, there's also another item to loot. So I'm just going to make sure that we don't miss that one while we are in the area.
All keyed up.
Oh, that's it, the generator keycard. Fair enough. So now we can basically make our way back to the area where we first updated the quest and couldn't proceed, if you remember, on that gantry. Which, yes, I'm afraid does mean walking past that Iron Giant once more. So just retrace your steps in exactly the same way. And that should bring you back safely. There are actually a few more items in this room you can go and collect, but it would mean, killing a lot of enemies. But you might want to do so. There's some muscle stimulant and just a few other bits and bobs like that. But for me, I'm just going to head back. I don't know if it's worth the hassle. And now that the giant's going back that way, we're going to again go to the wall, stay out of his line of sight, and try and walk more than anything. As close to the edge as possible. And back to safety. There we go. And then this next quest, known as a King's Struggle, is about to come to its conclusion as soon as we activate this next control panel.
The higher you climb,
And with the partially restored elevator there,
the further you fall.
we get an interesting cutscene which leads us to falling back down to the bottom of this area. How wonderful. So this is going to kick off a new quest for us. Right, so after the cutscene, we'll get access to the Sword of the Father, which we can use as well as the Ring of the Lucille, depending on what mood we're in at the time. So from here we're going to make our way across to the west, I mean to the east even. Although we can, I was going to use the sword just to show you that it's a valid option in battle. And in here, more items we shall grab. So the sword's quite a good weapon to use actually, because it's a little bit faster at killing these weaker enemies in my opinion.
Can't you simply taste the air of foreboding? Did you hear that?
Head into this room and you can have another opportunity to save. And I'm actually going to finish off today's episode because there's only so much chapter 13 I can take in one sitting. So thanks for joining me folks, make sure you come back next time and hopefully we'll get this place cleared off. Thought that was another Ring of the Lucille then sitting on that cabinet, but it's just my icon. Alright folks, bye for now.